Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I've heard from some of you that you would like to get a little bit better picture of what the end product of your exegetical worksheet should look like. And some of you would also like a little bit of help knowing how to use the track changes feature of a Word document to annotate your exegetical worksheet, or what I sometimes call the focal text. So our Bible department representative, Anna Ressler, an MDiv student at AMBS, has graciously given me permission to share one of her exegetical worksheets from my Luke Acts class last semester. So you can see the focal text is right there in the middle, and she's used track changes to mark up the text by using comments. So to turn on track changes, I'll do this on a blank focal text shortly. You turn it on right here with this button. But what she's done is highlighted a word like the hour and then hit new comment. And then you get all these comments over here in the margins. So if you click on these, you can see that there's different comments that she's written into the margins about intertexts, intratexts, about repetitive words and themes, and any other theological interpretation that she wants to add to the text to go back and remember. In addition to that, she's highlighted words and then highlighted them in different colors. So if you go to home here, at least on mine, and you hit this button here, you can highlight words with different colors. I'm going to undo that. And so different words that she thought were significant for, or thematic for the passage, she highlighted in different colors. You'd be welcome to bold words, to underline words. There's no hard and fast rule for how to do this. You are welcome to annotate this in whatever way is most helpful to you as you're thinking about coming back to this worksheet someday to preach on it or lead a Bible study. So then down beneath the actual text of Scripture, you can see she has an outline. This outline is actually a little bit longer than what I'm looking for, but that's fine. Again, this is her worksheet, not mine. But she has an outline, and then she has some theological reflections and thoughts about the verse. And I want to see this at the end of every worksheet where you are drawing some theological insights and conclusions from your analysis of the text, but especially asking so what questions. What does this passage mean for the life of the church today? So I'm going to go over to a blank worksheet. This week we're studying Mark 5:1 through 20. That's a typo, and I think yours is going to have that on it as well. Unfortunately, so I'll fix it in front of you, at least on mine. You're welcome to fix yours as well. In Mark 5:1 through 20, you've got the unmarked up sheet here. And again, to turn on track changes, this is track changes is a feature in Microsoft Word that editors use to edit people's books and essays and journal articles. So in the field of biblical studies, I'm using this feature of Microsoft Word all the time to offer feedback either to student papers, as you'll see in papers 1, 2, and 3, or to friends and colleagues' work as we're sharing our work with one another. So what's really cool about track changes is that after you turn it on, you can either just do editing within the text by deleting things, and then it will show you what changes you're making to the text. But you don't need to do that for this assignment. What I'm encouraging you to consider instead of handwriting this assignment is to use track changes by using the comment feature. So if you hit new comment, you can then go in and write in the region of the Gerasenes is contested, and there are many different spellings, so on and so forth. Whatever you want to add into the margins that you might find helpful. And again, you could also choose to go back to home. You could bold words. You could italicize words. You could underline words that you think are significant. You could find words such as feeding and words that have to do with nourishment, and you could put them all in red that way, or you could highlight them in yellow, something like that. So again, this is a pretty powerful tool for annotating your focal text. And instead of handwriting it and having to scan it and send it back to me, I'm encouraging students to consider using track changes, again, to write comments in the margins by hitting review, turning on track changes. Sometimes in some of these, you might have to go to Tools is another way to access it, and then go down to Track Changes. So Tools and the top part of your window in the menu, I think that's what they call it. I'm not a tech person. Hit Track Changes, and then if you can turn it on from there as well in some versions of Microsoft Word. Then if you just go down to the bottom, you can return tab down, and if you turn Track Changes off, then you can write into the bottom, write your outline here, and then your theological reflections under here. But let me just show you something real quick. If you leave Track Changes on and keep writing, you're going to get it all in red and get little lines in the left-hand margin. So for this portion of the assignment, one trick would be to turn Track Changes off so that you can write unhindered without red font and a line going into the left margin to signal to an editor that someone is adding material into a pre-existing manuscript. If you all would like a real-time conversation about how to do this, I'm happy to do that, but I'm hoping that my short introduction to the focal texts in the lecture for my online students last week will be enough in the in-person version of that for my in-person Strange New World class. And then also this will give you just the nuts and bolts of how to use Track Changes. Really, all you need to use for Track Changes is the comment feature. That's the only thing you need to know about. The rest is stuff that's already built in to the home page of your Microsoft Word software, and such as highlighting, underlining, all of that. And that should hopefully be fairly intuitive and easy to figure out. I'm guessing most of you have done some of that before. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, you're not required to annotate your focal text this way. You're welcome to print it out and do it by hand if you find that's easier, or you are someone who likes to feel the words being written in your hand because you remember them better, or whatever. You're welcome to do that. This is just a suggestion, but I am finding from several semesters of doing this that students find it very helpful. It's much easier to archive away and go back to again someday. It's also much easier for me to grade because I can send it back to you just by writing in a comment through Track Changes to you. All right, take care. Blessings.